Welcome to the Wealth Embodied podcast. I'm your host, Brianna Faringer, an attorney, spiritual guide, and wealth activator. I'm here to help you align your mindset for abundance and break through any glass ceilings with money. If you're ready to embrace your highest calling, manifest with more ease, and create a life that feels lighter and more aligned, then let's dive in. Hello, welcome to the Wealth Embodied podcast. I'm your host, Brianna. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I appreciate you listening. So this topic, I'm going to piggyback a little bit on the podcast I did last week around protecting your energy, because this is related, but is a little bit of a different concept. And this is around energy leaks. There are a lot of ways that energy is leaking in our lives. I would think of it like, if you had a cup that had a crack in it, and maybe it wasn't like fully cracked, but like if you were using it, like little like slow drips of water might be coming out of it. Or, it's like, it's not a lot, but it's like if you let it go over time, it would just completely drain all of the water out and there wouldn't be anything left. That's what an energy leak is. An energy leak is something that's happening in your life that is draining your energy. It's usually like in an area where you wouldn't recognize it. And if you don't do anything about it, those things will add up to be extremely draining on you and will lead you often to burnout and things that you don't want to be in. And so I'm only going to go over one of them today. There's lots of ways that your energy can be leaking. And the podcast episode I did last week was about protecting your energy from other people. That's a way of preventing energy leaks, but it's not the only thing that you can do. I want to talk about a very specific type of energy leak, or I'm not sure it's a type, but it's the best indicator of when something is an energy leak in your life. And it is when you say, I like this, but, or I like this person, but, right? Anytime there's a but, that is an indication to you that that is something in your life you need to look at and very, very strongly consider either removing from your life or changing it. And I'm going to give you a lot of examples, but these are areas of our life where we're often either doing things where we don't really want to be doing them and we're not fully being honest with ourselves about it, or we are spending time with people in our lives that we don't really want to be spending time with and we're not being honest with ourselves about it. So when this comes to doing things in your life, this would be like something that you're like, oh, I like doing this thing, but I like this activity, but I like going to this group, but anytime there's a but, that's a message for you to explore. And I would not do this from the lens of trying to talk yourself into keep doing the thing. And I am going to give you an example. So I have a dog who is the biggest priority in my life. People that know me know that. I love him more than anything. And his health and well-being and quality of life is, more important to me than anything other than my own health and wellness. And I do a lot of things for him that a lot of people are not always willing to do with their dogs. So I used to take him to agility, which, if you don't know what agility is, it's like basically those obstacle courses that they set up, and the dogs, they have to follow a course. It might be running through a tunnel, jumping through a tire, jumping over something. There's a teeter-totter. It looks like a dog playground. He loves agility. He loves it. And I started doing it with him. So he's 6 now. I started doing it with him when he was like 2, maybe 1 or 2. I don't remember. But I started doing it with him when he was very young, and we did it for several years, and he absolutely loves it. Like when we would go into the gym to do agility, he would start crying and whining. He loved it. He loves running around in there. He loves going fast. He likes jumping up on everything. And so I initially really thought it was fun too. And it was a fun activity for us to do together. And it helped, me continue his training and keep him really stimulated, because he's a really busy dog and he has a lot of energy, and he needs a lot of mental stimulation in addition to just getting physical exercise. And so for me, that was a really fun way to do that. And as he progressed through the agility levels, he got to the point where he was at the highest level that he could be at this particular gym we went to. And the more accomplished he got in agility, the fewer class times there were available, because there were usually fewer people that had gotten their dogs to this point in the training. And what was happening was there were fewer class times, And the times were not great times for my schedule. I don't remember exactly what the times were, but I think like there was a couple during the week, but they were during times where I was going to be working. It was not a scenario where I could readjust my schedule to be able to go. The one class time we could do was Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. I even think about that now and I shudder at the thought. So I'm not a morning person. I'm awake early. I just don't do things, like, especially on a Sunday. Like, for whatever reason, for me, Sundays, I have this belief that it's like a day where I don't really want to do anything. I rarely plan things on Sundays. I like for it to be a day where I can do whatever I want, just be very chill, relaxed. Like I said, I'm up early. I'm not doing things early. I don't even start work usually before 10. So even though I'm up at like 6:30. So this 9 o'clock class was killing me. And every Sunday we were doing it. And I found as we were going on, every week I would be like, oh my gosh, I hate this more and more, right? And so I would have this story. I love doing agility and I love this class, but I hate this time. And so I started trying to explore doing it at other gyms, and all of them were booked. They were like on these wait lists. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't move to another gym. So then I just kept doing it. And I was getting to the point where I was like, oh, I hate this. Like I was starting to dread it. And it really was contrary to the purpose that it was supposed to be for, which was fun for me and my dog. I kept doing it because I knew it was really fun for him. It was not becoming very fun for me. And so I made a decision to stop going, which I will tell you was hard because I really felt like it was an important activity for my dog and it was important for us to do together, but I hated it. I started to hate that time. If it was another time, it would have been different, but I was constantly saying, I like this, but, right? The but is where you need to listen to. That's telling you something. Because what was happening was I was actually, and I can see this in hindsight now, I was expending a lot of energy, like thinking about and dreading this class. I wasn't even consciously aware of that, but every Sunday would come around, I'd be like, I don't want to go to this class. I don't want to go to this agility class. I don't want to get up and have to go over there at 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Like if it was at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I might have felt different about it. But the fact that it was early, I was like, ooh, I wouldn't have gone to a 9 o'clock class if it was on a weekday. Aside from the fact that I had to work, I don't like to be doing things that early. That doesn't align with what I want to do with my life. And so I made the decision to stop. And we haven't been back since. And I haven't been able to find another gym that we could go to. That one closed down. And so I'm giving you an example of like, there are things, if there's something that you're like, I like this, but, okay, what is the but? Can you change it? And if you can't, I would have you strongly consider taking the thing out of your life, because that is an energy leak. It is something that is causing you to waste energy. You do not consciously realize it, and it is going to affect how you move through the world. Energy is something like a resource that you have that you want to try to hold on to as much as you can so that you can use your energy for the things that are a priority for you in your life and help you achieve your goals. If it's an energy leak, get rid of it. Don't do it. So this is like, use this as a way to go through and audit things in your life, the things that you're doing and the people you're spending time with. So that's what I want to talk about next, is people, because this is a very hard one. It's a lot easier to cut an activity out of your life than it is to cut a person out of your life traditionally. I probably have an easier time removing people from my life than most. And that, please don't take that in any way other than to say, I have such awareness around now in my life around whether or not certain people are healthy for me to be around. And if I get the feeling that a person is not healthy for me to be around, I won't be around them. That's non-negotiable for me. Now, if it's a situation where I have to be, that's different. Like if you have to be around a person that you know is like you don't really want to be around because you work together and it's unavoidable. There's still things that you can do, like protect your energy. But I'm more talking about, well, this is around relationships that you have that are voluntary and like I would call involuntary, like where there are people like coworkers. You might not be able to do anything about them, but developing an awareness around like how you feel around these people and developing some guidelines for yourself on how to be around these people if you can't remove them for your life is important. Like if I had a coworker or something, this is not happening in my life, by the way, I just want to clarify this, but if there was a coworker or somebody that like I didn't have a choice but to be around, like you could always quit your job, right? So it's a choice, but you're not going to do that probably. If there's somebody that you don't like being around,